right, so today we're gonna be getting into Bronx daycare debt, where I think this happened about 2 years ago. It just came across my feed, and I was like, "Oh man, let me just hit record and go live on it." Because how could a toddler, 22 month old, die in a daycare? This was my thought. So we're going to be watching this video as we get into it. How did this 22-year-old baby, and it's a handsome young boy too. Whew. This one made me hold my head, but let's get into it.
Fentanyl in 2023. It was a gut-wrenching day of the Bronx and sentencing day for the daycare operators responsible for the fatally exposing a toddler to fentanyl in 2023. It was a gut-wrenching day in court as the parents of the boy addressed the couple responsible for the tragedy. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is live in the Melrose section of the Bronx with more on this story. Darla.
Well, David, the parents of Nicholas Dominici had a chance to address the two people convicted in their son's murder today. And those two people had a chance to apologize to the family today. But when you talk about how gut-wrenching and difficult this day was today, one thing can sum all of this up. The mother told the court, Zola Dominici says she cannot wait until the day that she dies, until she can see her son again. And because he's not coming back, these two people should never get out of jail.
Those 25 years to life plus those 45 years on federal court is enough time for who is expecting come out. They never gonna come out.
The parents of Nicholas Dominici leaving the Bronx criminal courthouse Wednesday afternoon, clinging to a large portrait of their son.
We fight. We pray every day to wake up and have the power to be standing on that courthouse. It's not easy.
This uneasy final chapter in their
Yo, you hear that line? They pray every day to wake up. Every day to wake up. Whew. That pain is real.
2.5-year nightmare in the fentanyl death of their 22-month-old son, ending with the sentencing hearing for former daycare owner Gray Mendez and her husband, Felix Herrera Garcia, convicted of second-degree murder in the toddler's death.
No debe salir nunca de la cárcel.
You should never get out of jail, Zoila Dominici telling the court. Menendez and Garcia sitting with their hands cuffed behind their backs as the grieving parents described the day Nicholas died in September 2023. She says, I see my heart bleeding from his mouth. The doctors did everything they could to bring him back to life, but it was too late. He had been dead for a while.
On 2023, we celebrate my birthday. 2 days later, this happened.
The couple sentenced 25 years to life in Dominici's death to run concurrently with a 45-year sentence on federal drug charges in this case.
I just want to apologize to the family of the children that I was caring for. They said that I never apologized, but I have apologized. I would like to say I'm sorry to the family.
It is a measure of justice because now they are fully accountable. Drug charges in the federal system, murder charges, and assault charges in the Bronx.
And after everything was over, the proceeding was over, the sentencing hearing, which lasted about an hour, the parents, the entire family, in fact, said they were headed to the gravesite to celebrate the sentencing where Dominici, their 22-month-old son, is buried. Reporting live in the Melrose section of the Bronx, Darla Miles, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
So that's what happened. But I haven't seen this clip. It only hit my timeline. And since it hit my timeline, I was like, what? How did this kid die? Right? It's like, yeah, we know I guess, I don't know exactly. But if we go to, okay, so cool. So what I did was, let's pull this up. Let's go back to here. So what I went to was Eyewitness News, ABC at 7, 24/7, right? So I went to here to kind of get the facts on what really happened. And I brought it over to my trusty AI service, where it kind of breaks down some of the facts for me. But this is where I got most of the information from. You know, kind of. So you see the source, right? But if we go over here, my question was, how did he die? How did he die? So why, right? And I do the 5 whys, right? Daycare, right? This was the name of the daycare in New York, in the Bronx, right? So they were sentenced in the Brooklyn court. Let's scroll down a little bit. It's just telling you right here why. It says daycare operated and ran and stored drugs, fentanyl in the daycare. Yo, fentanyl in the daycare. That's crazy, right? So the drugs were present in the environment where the kids were being cared for. So exposed to fentanyl caused the toddler to die, right? Allowing fentanyl in a daycare environment, just giving you the breakdown of what that is. So most important thing, the daycare operated and had fentanyl stored inside of the daycare. It explained how. Oh, so right below it says the drugs were accessible or present in the same space where children were playing or sleeping. And I think it says something where it was underneath the mat of the toddler where the toddler was sleeping. So the toddler was exposed to fentanyl. Yo, think about that. You're paying money. You're paying money for them to take care of your kids. And yo, you know what it is to lose your kid to something like this, bro? These people said they pray that they wake up. You know what that is? They pray that they wake up. The mother even said I'm paraphrasing it right here because I don't want to misconstrue the mother's words. She can't wait the day that she reunite with her son. And you could understand that correlation if you're praying to wake up. Some people are like that. Some people like you have these things where when a spouse die, a husband or a wife die, is like a couple days later that person normally pass away because that person wants to go meet that person that they just, my wife is gone, my life is done. They just want to go. And you normally see certain things like that where spouse die, the husband don't have anything to live for. He was living his whole life, and vice versa. Wife was the husband gone, the wife, and that happens. And I've heard about that with parents, and when parents lose their child, or especially with moms kind of go through that thing where it's like, so that right there in itself is crazy. So outcome and sentencing. So the reason why this hit my feed because we were going through, it came up on my timeline. So this happened back in 2023, and I'm like, whoa, why? This one was on my timeline, so I had to kind of look into it. And it says they got 25 years to life for murder, and they have the one is state and one is federal. Okay, so the 45 years is federal sentences for drug charges. So they got 45 years and they got 25 years. Damn, 60, 70 years. 70 years and they 38. One is 37 and one is around 42 or something like that. They never seen the daylight. They got to be 110, 120 before they get out. Woo! Because I think it said it up here. These are the victims. In the right here it says it. So Mendez 38, Garcia 37, and you add 70 on top of that. So they got well, damn, 110. They ain't never seeing daylight, bro. They ain't seeing daylight. Because that's 70 years. 70 years. 70 years, not 7 years. 70 years in jail. And I'm not even... 70 years in jail, boy. Let's go back here. Let's go through the rest. So, scroll down. Here we go. Key missing details. How did fentanyl get into the daycare? Where exactly it was stored? So it says not in the transcript. So it wasn't too clear. They on the specifics. How did the child physically come into contact with it? That wasn't too clear. So that's why I kind of left it right there. They said it was probably underneath the baby mat or something like that. But this one, man, praying for the family. They definitely got justice because, it was one of those things where a baby could consume something. But like now with today's technology and a toxology, oh boy, I ruined that. I bust that one up. Toxicology report definitely tell you how you die. So I guess the toxicology came back and say that's probably how he died. But whew, taking a kid to daycare, this is the last thing you would think about when you're paying money and you're bringing kids to daycare. Last thing. Oh, you more worried about bullying, you even school shooting, the daycare beating on kids. You're not thinking about choking is a big one because that recently happened out here in Connecticut where a baby choked on something and they weren't paying it, but this was a baby choked on some food. So that's something you got to be, but these are the things as parents that we go through, but never poisoning based on drugs. I think that's why this one hit the media so hard, or this why this one touched me so hard. It came across my timeline. But prayers go out to the family. I hope this brings us some peace, some justice. You know, they seem like a praying family. Hopefully this gives the mom some comfort, the dad some comfort, and their loved ones. I could definitely say the people who were charged, they sound remorseful. They definitely sound especially the daycare owner, the female. She sound remorseful. Sometimes some people don't like to hear that, but they did apologize. But what is it worth to the people that is on the other end? I may not know, but they did try to show some level of remorse. It should count for something, but hey, that's left to the parents that were hurt. I could just only present what I've seen and what I've heard. But overall, boy, we wrap it up right there. I'm out. Peace.